Welcome, everybody. Today we're going to discuss the principles and practices, what's new, what to look for, what to study, about how much it costs to go take the exam, how long the exam is, or how long it takes approximately, how much time you have, what the pass rates are, a lot of the material that's covered on the exam, and what you're going to need to know going into it. So we're going to cover all of those topics as we start going over the principles and practices. If you have any questions, just like always, type them into the chat. We'll be glad to go over it with you and discuss any questions that you might have. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So like I said, there's PS exam covers following topics. So you're going to have your boundary law and legal aspects, professional survey practices, standards and specifications, business and professional practices, and areas of practices. So this is the main key areas that they do cover on the PS exam. All right, next is going to be what does it cost? So the application, of course, varies by state. Don't forget, some states require that you do get approval prior to, and some states you can just go ahead and take it. So the PS, or the Principles and Practices Survey exam fee, is typically around $300, and the licensed state land surveyor (LSLS) exam fee is about $150. So how long does it take? So this exam, you're looking at about 6 hours. So there's 100 questions in total. You're looking at 2 different sections, and you get a break in between of up to 50 minutes. Of course, you don't have to take that entire break, but it is something that you are able to do. Exam pass rates. So this is what people always have, or always ask. So out of 246 people that take it on the first try, about 70% pass it. Now, of the repeat takers, only about 45% pass it. So that means, your odds are actually better the first time you go and study to prepare for it in order to pass your exam. And that's what we try and do here at NLC Prep, is help everybody try and pass their exam on the first try. And then, like I said, what's covered on the exam? The exam is going to go over a variety of different things. So we've got your legal principles, we've got your professional survey practices, standards and specifications, business practices, and areas of practice. And within those, we've got the different categories that they will touch base on or talk about. So legal principles, for instance, you'll have principles of evidence, common law, boundary principles, sequential and simultaneous conveyances, the concepts between those two, legal descriptions of real property. You're going to have evidence and USPLSS. So you're going to go over a variety of different things as far as legal principles go. Professional survey practices, of course, is going to cover your public and private record sources, documentation, supervision, clear communication, and field procedures. So this is just, running, operating a business, your paperwork, who's in charge, who do you work under or who works for you, what's their legal responsibilities. Then you'll have your communication and field procedures, which is going to go over all your satellite communications, GPS, GNSS, RTKs, and so on. You're going to go over survey principles and computations, just like anything, monument standards, as far as placing them go, land development solutions, survey mapping, plats, reports, and GIS. So there's quite a few topics that you will touch on the professional survey practices. Next, you're going to go on to standards and specifications, one of the other categories that is talked about. So you'll have your BLM manual of surveying instructions. You're going to have your ALTA and NSPS land title survey standards. Just make sure you study all of these. They are going to be asked, and don't forget, when you are taking the exam, they normally give you like a workbook or a guide that you can basically review or look at. So the standards, they changed a little bit as far as what they do cover. Somebody did just ask. So yeah, that's what we're going over right now as far as what is being covered. So standards and specifications, like I said, so you'll have your BLM, your ALTA, NSPS, FEMA requirements. Just make sure you know all those. You will be able to review some of it, but you have to know what you're looking for. Business practices. So you've got your general business practices and procedures, risk management, professional conduct, communication with clients, staff, related professions, and the public. So there's going to be quite a few variations, but again, this is going to go over you running your own business. Communications with clients, staff, that's basically, writing memorandums, knowing whether it's inner office or out of the office, how you're going to be reporting to individuals, how you're going to respond to them. Professional conduct, always working in a professional manner. And then areas of practice, again, ALTA, NSPS, land title surveys, control networks, and geodetic. Network surveys, the types of them that they have. So construction surveys, boundary surveys, alignments for utilities. So there's quite a few things that are going to be covered. Next is just going to go into utilities, topographs, and then, survey, establishing new parcels, lots, units. And all this is, of course, pretty much covered on your FS exam, but it's more condensed. So instead of 110 questions that's on the fundamentals of surveying, this one's 100 questions, and it's more focused on getting a little bit closer towards your individual license. All right, so next we're going to go on to what you need to know going in. So, of course, terminology is a big one, legal definitions, being able to understand what they're asking you and being able to respond appropriately. Surveying standards, again, ALTA surveys, must be within X amount of feet, plus 50 parts per million to be accurate and precise. So just make sure you know what the ALTA standards are. Again, there is a sheet that they provide you, and you should be able to review it and see it. Just need to know where you're looking and what you're looking for. PLSS, Public Land Survey Systems, the types of subdivisions, sections, townships, closing corners, meandering corners, section corners, knowing how to, to do all these, how to document all of them, legal terminology, Thalweg, you've got numerous different ones, mean, meander, Thalweg. So just different things that you're going to need to know how to understand as far as whether it be on a lake, on a navigable, non-navigable water, or just within meets and bounds, section, townships, range, it doesn't matter. Just knowing the terminology. Parole evidence, so is spoken from neighbors, previous owners, etc. How that interprets or goes into it compared to anything else. Let's see, we've got corners versus monuments. So corner is a legal thing. As you can see from the corner of a survey or plat, a monument is a physical thing. So rebar, a truck axle, an object that's going to be there. So knowing the difference between corners and monuments and how to decipher or determine which one it is and marking it appropriately for the survey, which also comes to junior and senior rights. So next is going to be what are some of the requirements for ALTA surveys. So, records research, field work, locate the monuments, etc. Everything that's required in order for it to become an ALTA survey. So next we've got, paper maps, the U.S. National Map Accuracy Standards is nearly always tested on these exams. So again, make sure that you know what the accuracy standards are. Some individuals might get questions that have, calculations or to what scale is it, but it's hard to tell. It could always be asked. Vertical accuracy. So what is the best or worst accuracy that you can get or obtain? What's within the limits? That's what they want to know. Just like we were talking about before with the Alta survey, within 0.07 feet plus 50 parts per million. Just being able to understand and know what your accuracy or your guidelines are. So your basic PLSS, again, your public land survey systems, types of areas, your townships, sections, lots. So we're going to cover basically everything on there: witness points, closing corners, tree lines, meander corners, mile post. I mean, the list goes on and on. But you're going to need to know all of these as well. And don't forget, when you are taking the test, a couple tips that you want to know is breathe and read. Breathe, relax, and read each question 2 to 3 times. Before you even answer it, read it. Just, okay, what is it saying? Read it again. Read it one more time. Okay, if you don't understand it, go ahead and move on to the next one. Do your easy questions away. Take your time. Just flag the ones that you don't understand right away and move on. You might see that question come up or the answer for it come up later on. But yeah, always go and do your easy questions first. Get them out of the way. So, as far as the standards for the PS goes, they're pretty much like we were talking about. They did change a little bit as far as what's covered on the exam. So as far as the material goes, which we just went over. But yes, our PS course is up to date. It's one of the most up-to-date courses that you'll probably find out there. We do give you workbooks to print out, videos to watch, quizzes to read, or quizzes to do, articles to read, and a lot more. That's one thing that you do always work for or strive for, is providing the most accurate and up-to-date information that we can for individuals studying for these exams. So one of the other nice things that we do provide here at NLC Prep is we do provide support. So when you're studying for the exam, going through the material, you're like, hey, question 30, you're getting answer C, I'm getting answer A. I don't understand how you're getting this. Send us a ticket, log on. We've got office hours now, Mondays and Fridays from 11 to 1 Eastern time. So you can either log on there or send us a support ticket at support@nlcprep.com. We'll go ahead and respond back to you, giving you the reason why it comes to this answer, over, why it's answer C instead of answer A, or vice versa. So we're always here to help. If you don't understand a question as well, send it in. That's what we're here for. Just because you bought the course from us doesn't mean we're done. We're here to help you pass your exam, and we're going to do everything we can to help facilitate that for you. So like I was just talking about, you can send us a ticket. We can help. Again, we're not done. We're here to help you becoming a professional land surveyor. Again, office hours, we do offer Mondays and Fridays from 11 to 1 Eastern. Just log on to your student dashboard, and there's a link that you can register in order to go ahead and do this. Again, if you have any questions during any of this, go ahead and leave it in the chat. We'll go ahead and respond to you. Let's go over this again real quick just to give everybody an idea. So the PS covers the following topics when you are taking the exam. You've got your boundary law and legal aspects, professional survey practices, standards and specifications, business and professional practices, and areas of practice. So these are all the topics or areas that are covered on your PS exam. Again, application fee varies state by state. PS exam is going to cost you around $300, and the LSLS or licensed state land surveyor exam costs about $150. So again, the exam is about 100 questions long. It's broken up into 2 different sections. So you're going to get 50 in the morning, 50 in the afternoon. You do have an optional break that you can take of up to 50 minutes. And the exam is about a total of 6 hours. Here's the pass rates again, just so to go over them again. So you got about a 70% pass rate of individuals on their first try, and you've got less than a 50% for the people that take it 2 or more times. And as far as what's on the exam, we went over this earlier, but we'll go and touch base on it again. So again, legal principles talks about principles of evidence, common law boundary principles, sequential and simultaneous conveyances and concepts, legal descriptions for real property transactions, evidence for the preparation of the USPLSS. So like I said, public land survey system. So you're going to cover a lot of different things, not only in legal principles, but professional survey practices, standards and specifications, business practices, areas of practice, as well as your different categories within each one. And these are the categories that are touched based on throughout the course or throughout the exam. Again, what you need to know going in, make sure you know your terminology. That's the biggest one. If you're not able to understand what they're asking you, it's going to make it a little hard to answer the question. So don't forget, if you do purchase, through us, we've got, not only do we go through the legal definitions online, but if you buy the combo, it does include a standards and definitions book that's provided for you as well to go over all this. Survey standards, know your ALTA, FEMA standards, know what the different calculations are as far as accuracy and how precise it has to be. Those are questions you're always going to get. Again, they do normally have a reference manual within the exam, so knowing where to find it or what to look for is always helpful. Public land survey systems, your types of subdivisions, sections, townships, range, closing corners, meander corners, section corners. Again, everything for public land survey systems. Every state's different. Not every state deals with public land. Some states have it more than others. Some, I don't believe, even have it. So it's something to look out for and know, because this is a national exam. Legal terminology, again, just going over legal definitions, whether it be thalweg, meander, mean, the variations, whether it's navigable, non-navigable water. These are all going to be things that you're going to need to know in order to take your exam or to help prepare you for your exam. Parole evidence, spoken from a neighbor or previous owner. And we've got, again, closing corners versus monuments. What's the difference between a corner and a monument? Corner is a legal thing from a corner on a survey of plat, where a monument is a physical thing, such as your rebar, truck axle, objects, etc. So knowing the difference, again, terminology. Paper maps, U.S. National Map Accuracy Standards. It's almost always tested again. Make sure you know where to review. Make sure you know all the information on it so that you can go ahead and you can either find it again on the form or sheet that they do provide you online, or you can look it up prior to, just like ALTA standards, knowing those. It's going to be the same thing for your national map accuracy standards. All right, and then let's see, vertical accuracy. Again, what's the best and worst accuracy you can get? Again, knowing how accurate and precise you have to be. And basic PLSS, your public land survey systems. Again, they're going to hit on this again for you. Again, one of the things that is nice about our material, not only is it up to date, so you're going to get workbooks to go over, you're going to get quizzes to do, fill out, you're going to get videos to watch, you're going to get articles to read, but you also get support. So don't forget, we're here to help you. So if you do have any questions while you're going through it, just ask. That's what we're here for. Just because you bought the course from us doesn't mean we're done. We're here to help you learn. We're here to help you pass your exam and get you licensed as the next professional surveyor, whether it be in no matter what the state, we're here to help everybody pass and become a professional land surveyor that wants to. So again, we do have office hours, so Mondays and Fridays from 11 to 1. You can always log on then through your student dashboard, click on the link to register, and you'll be ready to go. And you can do those if you're not able to make the office hours. You can always send in a support ticket. Support tickets go to support@nlcprep.com. And again, if you have questions and you're like, hey, answer A, I'm not understanding how you're getting answer A, I'm getting answer B or answer C, just go ahead and tell us question 33, send us a screenshot of it. We'll review it for you and get back to you with an answer. Again, for those joining in with us, if you have questions, go ahead and leave them in the chat. Show this again just to show the major parts. So you've got the 5 different areas of study, and these are going to be your major key areas or key points that are going to be covered on the exam. Here again is the main categories or main topics that are covered: boundary law, legal aspects, professional survey practices, standards and specifications, business and professional practices, and areas of practice. So these are the key areas. From what I just showed you was the breakdown, the majority of topics that are covered for you. Yep, no questions yet. So I know it looks like you're just joining in with us, but if you have any questions on anything I've covered or talked about, just go ahead and let us know. Yeah, the FS was one of the most recent courses that has changed. Fundamentals of surveying, principles and practices, for most part, the same. These are the topics and categories that they are covering for you. The FS is 110 questions, and the PS is 100 questions. They're pretty similar as far as time goes. All right, one of the things that trips people up a lot is standards and specifications, like I was talking about earlier. So BLM manual, surveying instructions, ALTA and SPS, land title survey standards, FEMA requirements. Know these. There may only be anywhere from 3 to 10 questions. It's hard to say. Every exam's different, but make sure you know these. And again, there's always the sheet that you can reference that they typically will provide you when you are taking the exam. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. If you have any other questions, feel free to send us a ticket at support@nlcprep.com. You can always give us a call at 877-758-6262. Or you can rewatch this video, go over some of the tips and tricks. Like I said, some of the top test tips that we can give you: breathe, relax, read your question, read it 2 times, read it 3 times. If you don't understand it, go ahead and flag it, move on to the next and easy questions. But take your time, read each question thoroughly before answering, and you should be good to go. Again, NLCPrep.com. We're here to help you pass your exam, whether it be the FS, PS, or some of the state specifics. Go ahead and reach out to us, and we will be glad to help you or answer any questions that you might have about some of the course material. Again, 877-758-6262. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.